Hi guys, Sherlock's Apprentice here, aka Mike. Been quite a while since my last video. This one I actually prepared back in March, and with issues I had with Zoom, which I used to record these on a PC, just didn't work out. So I've had to wait till I got chance to use my Mac in the office, and that's what I'm doing. So finally getting a video out. And a bit of a strange one, this one. Back to numerology and coding and just a new idea. See what you think. So, when six was five, we know so many things in this realm are mirrored, and we can see this mirroring with my World War III number 233 and the skull and bones of 322. Then I remembered my dear departed friend Nigel talking about when six was five after an email he sent me, which made me think more about the possibility of another code hidden in the numbers. This was the email Nigel sent about when six became five back in June 2020 when he sent me the email. And basically, it is looking at the old style of numbers and letters. And the letter you see here, Zello, denotes the number six. So here is Zello, and it looks like an S, where you can see it looks similar to a five. So looking at five and six, in Hebrew, the sixth letter is V or vowel, and in Greek, it is also a V called digamma or stigma. A stigma changed from looking like an F to a G, then to an S or a five-shaped letter. So you can look here, Greek six, there it was an F. Okay, here. And then through time, digamma became stigma, and it looks very similar to the number five. But remember, it is actually valued as six, and Hebrew vowel as six. But in Roman numerals, V is equal to five. So you've got a crossover there. There is a medical term of polydactyly, where someone is born with six fingers or toes. Historically, some believe this was a sign of the devil due to the belief the Nephilim also had six fingers and toes. And I believe Nigel said his ex-wife was had six toes, which was when we were talking about this. So in measurements, 5 feet is equal to 60 inches. And e.g., the Washington Monument is exactly 555 feet tall, or 6,660 inches, for those of you who didn't know. Five is related to six because they have similar properties if used in different number bases. So let's compare 5 in base 10 and 6 in base 12. We all know 5 has a special relationship with 10, as it is exactly half. So when learning our multiplication tables, 5 was very easy because it ended either with a 0 or a 5. The number 6 in base 12, sorry, is also exactly half and works in a very similar way. It either ends in a 0 or ends in a 6. So you can see here, base 10, I've done the 5 times table in base 10, and here the 6 times table in base 12. And you see they end with a 6 or a 0. The reason we use base 10 for counting is because we have six fingers, including thumbs, and sorry, 10 fingers, getting confused now, including thumbs and 10 toes. If there was a time where people had six fingers on each hand and six toes on each foot, then counting would be done in base 12. In history, it's clear that base 12 has been used. I mean, we have 12 hours in a clock, 12 months in a year, 12 astrological signs, 12 inches in a foot. And in the Bible, 12 many times disciples, 12 tribes of Israel, 144,000 in Revelation 7:4, and obviously 666. So two and three, as I already mentioned, how 233 mirror 322 with my investigation with 233. But there are other connections to these numbers, especially in Freemasonry. Two or three columns. Sometimes you have two columns and a third broken column in uh, the tracing papers. Um, Sun, moon, and a third hidden celestial body, the black sun. So we obviously got the two visible and a third one. A hexagram is made of two triangles, a total of 32 degrees in Freemasonry, or 33rd honorary degree. Obviously, 33 is two threes. The 2nd of February, 2 is actually the 33rd day of the year, with 332 days remaining, or 333 days in a leap year. These are all interesting connections between these numbers, but the reason the numbers are mirrored, I believe, is due to the number bases again. If you do not fully understand bases or radices, then check my video out on Gematria and Decoding Explained, number 31, and I cover bases in there. So looking at 2 and 3, I saw similar connection as I did with 5 and 6. 2 in base 10 has special mathematical properties, but also has special mathematical properties in base 8. 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 is 10, not 10, 10, which is a value of 8 in decimal in base 8. 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 is also 10, and that's a value of 12 in decimal, or a dozen. And actually, you call it a dozen in base 12 as well. I personally believe the relationship between 2 and 3 is understanding the geometry and the importance of the cube. 2 cubed to the power 3, 2 threes, 2 times 2 times 2, or 2 by 2 cube. And, I've done a little illustration there showing how it's, could be related to the Freemason checkered floor. Base 8 was also used in the past. The Chaldeans only used numbers from 1 to 8. And the Gematria, Romans had 8 days a week, one hidden day from today. Music, we have the octave originally, I believe, had 8 notes. If you look at in German music, they have a note H. There's some explanation of it being a B miswritten or something, but I think maybe it did have 8 notes in the past and one's been hidden. We have 5 planets, the sun, moon, and a black sun, which would make 8. And obviously we can't see the black sun, again, a hidden object. But in astrology, they do cover that black moon Lilith as being a hidden. So here's how the 2 times table is in base 8, 2, 4, 6, 10, 12, etc. And then how 3 is in base 12, and it's very similar. As you can see here, 8 times 2, 20, 8 times 3, 20. So you can see how they're very similar in the mathematical properties of 2 and 3. All the different controllers of this world use symbols and are all based from the Merkaba and the cube. Each of the shapes can be found from the cube, or more exactly, the stellated octahedron, the Merkaba. So here is the stellated octahedron. And all of these shapes come from here. You can see the cube. He's there. Hexagram, the pentagram, the unicursal hexagram, and thelema is it? Square and compass is in here as well, and the Maltese cross. So here are some images of those. There's the stellated octahedron, Merkaba, the chariot's wheel, made up of the triangles. Obviously, we have the Kabbalah, Zohar, and I believe that's connected. All these crossing overs are 2 cubes on top of each other. Obviously, the cube is called the Kaaba, the Star of Rephaim in the, or the Star of David, as they like to call it. The pentagram symbol, obviously in Satanism. Thelema, there is the other hexagram. Freemasonry, square and compass, and the Maltese cross. In my videos 12 and 14, I did research on the Merkaba and its links to the number 51, and how it's possibly connected to our alphabet and numbers we use today. Here I've shown how digital numbers can use today on that we use today on calculators can be shown using the Merkaba. So if 5 is connected to 6 and 2 is connected to 3, what about the other numbers? So on a calculator, 5 and 6 are written like so, and they're very similar in shape and form. And to change a 5 to look like a 6, we only need to add one line here. To make the 2 become a 3, we move this line to here, and then you can see. So I then looked at the other 6 numbers and to see which might be connected. So 0 and 8 are the only 2 numbers that have no ends, and both numbers symbolize infinity or rebirth. 1 and 7 also look similar and only require one line to be added to the 1 to make a 7. So that left 4 and 9. Although you need to add 2 lines to 4 to make 9, I think you can see the similarities as I put the 4 in the 9 there. So first 0 and 8, my obvious connection is the Ouroboros, which is an ancient symbol depicting a snake or dragon eating its own tail, symbolizing the circle of life, both in the shape of an O or in the shape of an 8. And I've given 2 pictures here. The air of life is oxygen, which is the 8th element on the periodic table, which is given the symbol O, which is obviously very similar to a 0. Oxygen, to be stable, needs 2 oxygen atoms, and an 8 looks like 2 zeros, one on top of the other. 1 and 7. There seems to be connection between 7 plus 1, 7 physical objects and 1 hidden or missing object. We have 7 days in 1 week from the creation story, although I've been investigating into an 8-day week with 1 day being removed. Maybe the Sabbath was actually 2 days, the day of rest and a holy day, today of worship. So I think that's where maybe the weekend come from, or work end. And some time in history, 1 day was hidden. In Hebrew, 8 is Shemona. Shem also being name. Sunday is Shamash. So there's seems to be a connection between heaven, which name, and Shem, 8. I think Sunday was probably the 8th day. In Norse, Loki the trickster, associated with Satan, had a day of the week named after him called Lokasdaga, but it was changed, or was it removed? In music, we have octaves, which obviously is an 8, but there's 7 musical notes, A to G. But in Germany, they have historic documents showing a musical note H. Once again, 1 being removed, 7 plus 1. We have 7 celestial objects in the sky we can see, but 1 that we cannot see, although there have been unproven reports of the black sun. The Hebrew words for Yahweh and David, I've written here in Hebrew, look like 7s and 1s. 71 is called the Jesuit number in Gematria, which I see there is from the Society of Jesus being 71. Israel-Hamas war started on 7th October. There's another 7-1 there. And the 1st of July in many countries is National Day, including China. Before we look at 4 and 9, here's a quick recap of the Fibonacci sequence and the golden ratio. The following number is found. How the Fibonacci sequence works is by adding the 2 numbers before it. So starting at 1, the next number is 1. So you've got 1 plus 0 to give the 1. The next number is 2 because that's 1 plus 1. The next number is 1 plus 2 giving 3, and so on. And there's the Fibonacci sequence. See there. Okay, interesting. You got the Satan's number, my World War III number we've covered before. From this sequence, I discovered that if you reduce the numbers to single digits, you have a repeating pattern of 24 numbers on to infinitum. So 13 becomes 4 if we reduce it by adding the 1 and 3 together to make 4. 2, 3, 3 reduces to 8. 2 plus 3 plus 3. So then we get a new Fibonacci sequence numbers. There is the 24 numbers, and then it starts again, repeating from 1, 1, 2, etc. I then placed these numbers around the flower of life like a clock and discovered many patterns. Opposite numbers add or reduce to 9. So you see here, so top and bottom of the 24 numbers around the circle, 9, 1, 8 equals 9, 1, 8 together equals 9, and so on. So 4 and 9. At first, I couldn't see a connection between 4 and 9, but then I remembered my video number 8, God is a Mathematician, on the Fibonacci sequence and the Tesla vortex, both shown on the flower of life. 9 is the ultimate number, as all opposing numbers add up to or reduce to 9, starting from any number in the sequence and moving 4 numbers, you create many shapes, for instance, hexagons and cube patterns. Also, 4 times 9, 36, which is 6, 6. 6 times 6. 4 plus 9 is 13. 13 satanic families. 7, 7, 4, 9. So going up to my flower of life, starting from the top, count 4 numbers, get to 3, 4 numbers, 3, 9, 6, 6. There's the first pattern, 9, 3, 3, 9, 6, 6, creating a cube. Again, going 4 numbers, but connecting them differently. 9, 3, 6, 9, 3, sorry, too quick for myself. 9, 3, 6, 9, 3, 6, and you create the Thelema hexagram. Obviously, the Star of David, 936, 936, creating the Star of David. There's the cube. There's a hexagram, starting from here, going 4 numbers. Now, what was interesting was starting from this number, counting 4, I got 1, 5, 7, 8, 4, 2. Or if we go this way, 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5. And 1, 2, 4 continuous. This is actually the Tesla vortex. So this is Tesla's numbers, the 1 to 9. And you go from 1, you double it, you get 2, double it, 4, double it, you get 8, double, you get 16. But 1 plus 6 gives you 7. Double 7 is 14, which is 4 plus 1 is 5. And you create what is the Tesla vortex. Starting from this number 1, going this way round, you get the same Tesla vortex number. And remember, these numbers are not any numbers. They are from the Fibonacci and golden ratio. I honestly have no idea if I'm onto something or it's a total nothing burger. Let me know your thoughts, guys. It might spark or connect with discoveries you've had. A final thing I did discover is that my 774 number after my YouTube name, Sherlock's Apprentice 774. I got this number from a discovery Nigel and I had based on our full names. Nigel's full name got a gematria match on conspiracy theory, and my full name got a match on 911, 911. But all 4 phrases came up with 774 in the satanic cipher. I also know a fellow truther called Forever Love who also uses 774 on YouTube. So if you replace the numbers in my discovery on this video, 774 becomes 119. Just a interesting coincidence. But here's 911, my full name, match there. Okay, no match here. But satanic. Nigel's conspiracy theory matched here and here. And like I say, we all matched on the satanic. In my video 24, my Bible Deco Part 1, I explained how Yahweh is broken down to mean the Lord of destruction and not the Lord of who is to come. I've shown that Yahweh is the devil, is 666 in satanic gematria. In Hebrew, Yahweh is 1565. There's destruction. So there you can see Yahweh devil 666. It's interesting that it is 17 Q, but actually broken down is 1565. Digging further, I discovered the verse Revelation 13:18 in the King James Version is equal to 1565 in the LCH Kabbalah cipher. And I just showed that Yahweh is 1565. The LCH Kabbalah cipher is also known as the Trigrammatron Kabbalah by Aleister Crowley and his books of Thelema. Aleister Crowley was also called the Beast. So I found a bit more information about this Kabbalah, and based on in the books of Thelema by Aleister Crowley. And further down, a prime feature of this Kabbalah is an understanding of the cube of space and its 26 components, equaling the letters of the English alphabet. So that was interesting that a cube matches our English alphabet, and that's also on my video about the Merkaba. So you take the King James Version of Revelation 13:16. Here I've done it for you, and it comes to a total of 1565. So what's the cube of space? And it's exactly what I was covering earlier about it being a cosmology of the octahedron within a cube. That was my little model of my Merkaba containing 51 connection points. So I think I was really onto something with Merkaba and how it makes up our letters and how it makes up our numbers. And this one video showing how maybe the numbers are mirrored and they use that in a code. So when they write 322, it means 233. They write 71, they mean 17, and vice versa. But yes, it's just something I came across. Sorry it took a long while getting this video out. Life has been very busy for me recently, which is not a bad thing. But I'm hoping to get some more videos done. I've got lots of little projects, don't seem to finish any of them. But until next time, guys, thanks for watching.